Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm the inspirational Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And remember, hello.
Coming up...
Is it me you're looking for?
Coming up, we both weren't here yesterday because we both got kicked by a mule. You wish, comment section. But I've got some big news for you about the wildcard rule.
A young cat is called a kitten, and last night's SmackDown was completely rewritten.
Check out my rhymes. I'm a modern day bard. But I've got some big news for you about the SummerSlam card.
Ronald McDonald was a clown who could draw, and the ratings are down for Monday Night Raw. That's like a rap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tight.
So good.
My favourite insect? Ooh, it's got to be a bee. Well, I've got some announcements for you about AEW on TV. This is the news.
Let's fire straight into it with some SmackDown news. Now, if you tuned into last night's episode all the way till the end, you would have seen a rather weird segment in which Roman Reigns died. That's right, Roman Reigns is dead. News video over.
Well, thanks for that.
He's not actually dead, but...
attempted murder.
Some little rascal, some ne'er-do-well, some scamp seemingly tried to kill him in kayfabe at the end of the show. Roman was walking out around backstage. He was presumably about to come to the ring to make his SmackDown SummerSlam announcement. Announcements in 2019 never happened, but never mind. When a scaffold and a bunch of other crap that was on the scaffold was toppled on him, a bunch of people rushed to his aid. Kayla Braxton was there, some
screaming.
Medics. Yeah, proper wailing. Some officials, a bunch of people. They helped Roman out. He kind of like brushed them off as if they were annoying fans at a restaurant or at an airport, which was really odd. And then he walked away as if nothing had happened and the show just finished. It was really weirdly executed. But the key here is that basically the story they're trying to tell is that someone tried to put him on the shelf. Someone tried to put him in hospital. Someone tried to kill Roman Reigns. And I don't know who the hell it was.
I loved this. For all the awkwardness, and I also love spotting Bruce Pritchard in the background for a split second. For all the awkwardness and the weird screaming and it was very old school, wasn't it? A lighting rig nearly falls on someone. Some speakers nearly squashes Roman Reigns' head. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, I assume this was part of it, there was some sort of shadowy figure in the distance.
Lurking and twerking.
Who on earth could it be? I was chatting to Michael Hamflett and Adam Nicholas in the office, and they posited a great theory. Could it be Daniel Bryan? And his big announcement is, Daniel Bryan's that is, I'm a murderer now.
Yeah. I hate Roman Reigns and I want him dead. I reckon there's a strong chance it's the Fiend. Dark, shadowy figure chilling in the background. Obviously, he has business with Finn Balor at the moment, but that's going to be concluded at SummerSlam, presumably, if Finn takes his 2-month break. I reckon Wyatt's a good shout. Obviously, they've tangled in the past and so forth. Could be a lot of fun. Braun, maybe? Just randomly, even though he's a face now. I don't know. They kind of change things on a whim.
What's happening with Sheamus at the moment? Is he still on the shelf?
Technically, I believe he was cleared a week or two ago and he's back on the road. So
all I've seen so far, I think, from vaguely looking online, is I think he got a bit of a new haircut.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in terms of someone you can quickly build to face Roman as an attempted murderer and then drop down the card and face some other people as a, bastard, he fits the bill. And I love Sheamus. I think it looked really, really good. But let us know who you think attempted to kill Roman Reigns on SmackDown in the comments section below. And we're going to move on to another potential death in WWE, one that would be a lot more celebrated, I think. R.I.P. to the wild card rule.
Oh, yes.
It's being reported by Sportskeeda and PW Torch Tom Colahue. Always take this with a pinch of Colahue here. Is that WWE are looking to quietly get rid of the wild card rule without publicly announcing that it's gone or scrapping it on camera. Basically, they're slowly going to phase it out. Not that it's ever really been phased in. They just sort of went, sod it, everyone can go on all the shows. But thankfully, yes, the latest speculation is that the wild card rule will be gone post SummerSlam.
I don't really. This is a weird one for him to pick up on there because it feels like the wildcard rule is already gone.
There's no mention of it on TV, is there?
Yeah, they haven't mentioned it in weeks. They've been besmirching it from day one with the sheer volume of people who cross over exceeding the 4 every single week. I think it's already done. I think they've already phased out. This is a weird one for Mr. Colahue to call a scoop. However,
I think Vince has just forgotten it.
Yeah, he's forgotten about it, and they should definitely officially get rid of it because the whole thing sucks.
It's nice having the odd people appear on opposite shows and stuff like that, and it not just being SmackDown guys showing up to make Raw a super show like they did back in the day. You don't need a special term for every little nuance. Just be like, oh, look, that's nice that so-and-so has turned up for this show. I don't know who's on each show. I was going to give you an example then, but I've legitimately no idea, apart from the champions, who's on Raw and who's on SmackDown.
It's really hard to keep track, isn't it? We should definitely do that quiz we've spoken about before, where you name out a list and try and
Red
guess what brand they're
versus
on.
blue.
But it's so confusing these days because everyone's everywhere. But I think the wildcard rule's already dead, to be honest. No longer a thing.
R.I.P. in peace.
R.I.P. in peace. So we've gone from talking about two dead things, Roman Reigns and the wildcard rule, and now we're going to talk about last night's SmackDown, which, well, I don't know what the lead was there. For the second...
SmackDown Live Alive?
Ooh.
Crowbar that in there.
Crowbar. That was it was completely rewritten again last night for the second week in a row, the second goddamn week in a row. This is according to Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet, a guy you can trust. Before the show went on the air, said Vince had come in once again, scrapped the whole thing, put it in the shredder, and written a whole new show. This meant that we didn't get a planned match between the OC and the New Day. Instead, of course, we got AJ versus Kofi, which was rather swell. We did get things like the Jerry Lawler and Trish Stratus segment with Charlotte Flair to set up their match and so forth. So, you know, not massive changes from the pre-advertised stuff, but if the whole rest of it was completely rewritten other than what we got, pretty good, I'd say, because it was a pretty good show again.
Yeah, I mean, yet again, it may have been written at the last second, but I can't really complain. We legitimately, when we were talking about the news stories today, we were like, is this the story from last week? Oh no, it's just happened again.
Yep.
This coming from the guy who, let's not forget, on that whole investors call said, look, I can get, out of the weeds a little bit now. I can leave Bischoff and Heyman to look after it.
Yeah.
No, I'll just come in at the 11th hour, tear it all up and write it all over
And do
again.
the whole goddamn thing again. Very Vince, 2019, he never changes.
Why hire head writers when you're just going to rip their work up anyway? But as you mentioned there, one of the big stories coming out of SmackDown Live last night, aside from the attempted murder of Roman Reigns, is the official announcement that it is going to be Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. What a match that is going to be. 2 more matches were added to the SummerSlam card last night. We got Sami Zayn challenging Aleister Black to a fight at SummerSlam, and it was officially confirmed over social media yesterday that The Miz will face Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam before, I don't know, Goldberg comes in and murders Ziggler for calling him out all the time. And some big news coming out as well post SmackDown Live, and a post-match promo from Rey Mysterio. It seemed to hint at the fact we could be getting a hair versus mask match between Andrade, well, wrong way around, hair versus mask. Yes, Andrade and Rey Mysterio. Rey would lose the mask, Andrade would lose the hair. Good, got that sorted. But yeah, SummerSlam card is shaping up, looks really good, and that hair versus mask match, which would be amazing.
Yeah, I think we've been waiting for a pay-per-view match between Andrade and Mysterio for ages, for months, because their feud kind of just faded away without a resolution on a big show, which it certainly deserved. All those great TV matches, but they never really got the opportunity to go one-on-one on pay-per-view. All for that, especially with the stakes of mask versus hair after the mask destruction on this week's Raw. Aleister Black versus Sami Zayn, another really cracking match on paper. Sami's going to lose, of course he is, but it'll be lots of fun. And Charlotte versus Trish, we spoke about a bit about this last week. It's a literal dream match. It's generation versus generation, pioneer versus today's leading light. I'm all for it. And Dolph versus The Miz, it's a match we've seen dozens of times before, but 2 pros who know what the hell they're doing with a bit of beef, I reckon that could be pretty good as well.
Odds on it's going to be on the pre-show then.
It's definitely going on the pre-show. Shall we move on to Raw? The ratings, they are down, unfortunately. Obviously, the Raw reunion was always going to spike a big number. It did 3.093 million last week, a big leap forward. Everyone tuned in to see all their old favourites, the crazy old dudes running wild. But they did not stick around this week, unfortunately. It's down 25% roughly to 2.321 million viewers, and that is also a fall from the week before the Raw reunion as well. So not only have they not retained anyone from the Raw reunion, they've actually lost like another 100,000 or so from post-Extreme Rules. And that's really disappointing because the Raw reunion sucked, and last night's, this week's Raw was awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like if they'd done anything to build current superstars aside from The Fiend, they maybe would have retained some viewers, but no. We just had a weird popping of a rating as was demanded by the network, and now we are kind of back to normal. I sense that number's probably going to go up next week, obviously with the SummerSlam Go Home show, but it does feel like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it really does. It's a real shame. you obviously can't bring like Steve Austin back every single week and all this stuff. But again, it comes back to the problem about the stars and the lack thereof and their inability to build new ones.
And it seemed to, the casual fans that I know, it seems to confuse them because someone came up to me and said, do you know Stone Cold Steve Austin is back in WWE?
Yeah.
And I said, no, he's not. He was just there for 1 week. Do not expect him to be coming back. So I get why they did it. I completely understand why they just chucked all the legends in to try and pop over a 3 million rating, which they did. But it just feels like maybe they should have utilised them to rather than just saying, hey, Seth Rollins is an honorary member of DX. Maybe actually give them some momentum as we head towards SummerSlam. But
absolutely,
I think we'll get loads of eyes on the product next week, especially after Brock Lesnar again attempted to murder someone on Monday Night Raw. But speaking of TV, we have the first match announced for AEW when they go on TV, on TNT, of course, at the start of October. The tickets for that show go on sale on Friday, actually. And the first match has been announced. It's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Sammy. I always get this wrong. Guevara,
yes sir. Interesting little match there because Cody has been one of the MVPs of AEW so far. I love the Dustin match. I actually really liked the tag match with Dustin against the Young Bucks at Fight for the Fallen as well. The Darby Allin match was really good too. Going up against a young, exciting up-and-comer with a real cocky attitude, really obnoxious guy, obnoxious character, Sammy Guevara. Loves pandas, loves doing flippy-dippy doodads all the live long day. This could be really good fun. Cody knows what the hell he's doing, so does Sammy. I'm looking forward to it.
Stick it in your diary. Wednesday, October 2nd. Really excited to see that. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to tweet them to us. We'll start with RJ Domo, who says, how did WWE book the OC, California, not that one, in order to give prestige back to the US title and Raw tag team titles?
Oh boy, it's an interesting situation because the Raw Tag Team titles are in the dumps. The match on Monday was really good, and I'm glad that my brothers in baldness are champions. But they just need to go on a credible run. They need to beat people. They need to do it cleanly. They need to hold it for 4, 5, maybe 6 months. Just beat people. Beat people constantly, not via roll-ups, not via distractions, not via bollocks. Beat people, establish credibility. Those lucky, those heelish, those silly wins don't build that, and they need it desperately. As far as AJ goes, just be AJ, man. Have great matches.
Yeah, exactly. I think all you need to do is make them a successful stable. They hold all the gold, arguably, until WrestleMania for me.
Hell yeah.
And then you build a team up who's going to keep trying. And finally, on the biggest stage of them all, they beat the OC. And AJ Styles, like you say, just have matches. That's literally
it.
Your
AJ Styles.
Rigo Red asks us, he says, it's clear that Seth Rollins needs to turn heel as soon as possible, but there's no realistic way he can turn heel on Lesnar. How would you book Seth turning heel, and does it involve Roman Reigns?
After Monday, I'm not too sure I would, because I thought he actually came off really sympathetic in that beatdown with Brock, which I thought was really well done. But for the sake of this, he really does need a strong babyface foil to turn heel against. The problem is with Roman, there's still an element of, I don't like this guy among certain sects of the fan base. That's not me, by the way. I love Roman Reigns. So the risk with him is that people go, hey, Seth's beating up Roman, hey, boo, Roman. It'll be completely reversed. So you really need a really good sympathetic figure to do it against. He's obviously not going to batter Becky Lynch, but doing something evil to Becky Lynch would probably be a good way to do it.
Sort of awful breakup storyline.
Yeah, and it'll be, that'll suck. Kofi then, maybe?
It's literally what I was going to say. Yeah. Have him cheat to win at Survivor Series in that match that we've been looking forward to since the Raw after WrestleMania. Have him realise that the crowd are cheering more for Kofi than they are for him, and he goes, fine, just destroys Kofi Kingston at Survivor Series, which potentially could lead to Kofi losing the title, which you can build towards hopefully a babyface Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble and going to WrestleMania. I'm sticking to that. And then, you have him turn heel and be such a bastard that you are inevitably going to build towards Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, main event at WrestleMania. Well, not main event, potentially. I want Daniel Bryan in the main event, but Universal Championship match at WrestleMania 36.
That's tremendous.
Gwiggy gives us our final question of today. He says, Sasha Banks still hasn't come back to TV. Is she coming back at SummerSlam, or could she be signing somewhere else? And is that even possible?
I don't think it would be possible for her to sign somewhere else, because I don't think they're going to let her go. Lord knows when her current contract actually expires, but I think they're going to hold on to her for as long as they possibly can, and maybe add some injury time on for the banter. Why not? That's what they do. I don't know if she'll be back by SummerSlam. There's all this talk she's been doing mocap stuff, I think, for one of the games, the 2K game. She's been doing some other promotional bits and pieces here and there, but she's also been in Japan fanning around with Sendai Girls and all this other stuff. I don't think we'll see her at SummerSlam. I think that's still maybe a little bit too early. Maybe if she's going to come back before Survivor Series, certainly.
You're right, we aren't going to see her at SummerSlam. That is too early. She's going to appear on either Raw or SmackDown after SummerSlam, and she's going to murder Bayley so we can build towards a really exciting match that we've been looking forward to for ages for me. That's what I reckon is going to happen. Right, let's move on to today's and finally, and you've probably seen this photo doing the rounds because I think Sheamus tweeted it out recently. But Sheamus, just to remind you before we see this photo, is 6'4" and 270 pounds. Here he is, sandwiched in between heavy machinery, out for a nice meal. He looks like the little geek in the cafeteria, doesn't he?
He looks tiny. Oh my goodness gracious! Look at Otis's face there as well. Hey, burger!
Imagine that's the last thing you see is Otis's face
before he eats you.
I was going to say,
yeah, we're coming. Oh,
Get back in the WWE. Get back on telly. I love you, Sheamus, man. Red-headed brother. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can send us Twitter questions at WhatCultureWWE. In fact, watch you there. Follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for this person. That's Layla, not Hulk Hogan. Thought I was going to pick up Hulk Hogan there. Didn't do that, so this is ruined.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. As I said, you can follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. My thanks to Andy Murray and to Layla. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Man, this action figure is really messed up, huh? Look at his arms.